right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Let's start off by saying shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High, Ahaya has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. Sister Deborah got a wonderful message for you all today. I am truly, truly blessed. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. I need to know if you can hear me. Give me the thumbs up, please. If you can hear me, give me the thumbs up. We got some good stuff here today. Shalom, shalom. All right. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. Okay. You all, I was blessed. I've been overly blessed today. Oh, the Most High, Ahia has poured out his spirit. Woo-wee! It feels so good to detach myself to a anointed one of the Most High, a higher. Oh, it feels good, you guys. And I don't know if I do know that the individual seem as if he's from Africa, somewhere in Africa, based on I think he's from Africa. Just put. I'm gonna let you all go there too, so you could just kind of listen to him. And uh, he's an apostle. He's an apostle. Um, and I just thank the Most High for him in this midnight hour, running into the minutes. Oh, I'm telling you, you know how? Have you heard it when it says? He might not be there when you want him, but he's always on time. Let me tell you guys, my spirit has been leaping for joy. So I can just imagine when Elizabeth and Mary came together, and both of them were pregnant, and just the children, John and Yeshua, leaped in their mother's womb. Let me tell you something. When I listened to this man, I heard him and I heard him. See, and what I mean by that, I heard him natural and I heard him spirit. But what got me was what he was saying spiritual that got me more than anything. That means that a higher came, brought him to me in the spirit realm, and I was satisfied in the flesh as well. Let me tell y'all, this man just woo-wee. I'm telling you guys, and he's called an apostle, and I been busy today. I don't know if you all can see this here, and it's all on both sides. And these is many, many, many verses and scriptures I've been dealing with uh in the last 2 days. Because Ahia, when he said it to me, I took him at his word. That means that proceed out of his mouth to my spirit. I took him at what he was saying. But the thing that he did is he wanted me to go in the scriptures and just see how plainly seen that people are chasing men and women words that proceed out of their mouths. And they're using this to deceive the people. And after listening to this man, this apostle, all of a sudden I went further back down on his page and I see something in there, and it was just for 7 minutes. And I said, I'm going to listen to this here one. And when I listened to it, it brought me to where the Father has taught me that the word is not this book. To hear this apostle break that thing down, and I'm going to tell y'all the good thing about this man. He was saying identical to what I have been speaking, but it's the way he said it. And I just thank the Most High for that, because he said that he poured out the gifts upon his people. Okay. Now, those gifts were given to those that Ahiah knew that was serving him. And to hear this man teach, I'm like, Father, he's an apostle. I say, he sound like he an apostle based on what I have learned about it from the Ruach. He's an excellent teacher. He's good at what he's saying because everything he's saying, I understood it in the spirit, you guys. I understood it in the spirit, and it met up with the spirit that rests in me, and I was just bubbling with joy. I mean, I was feeling good. I'm still feeling good because tonight I'm going to lie down and I'm going to just listen to what he's saying. And let me tell you where it started. I'm sitting here doing my study on the word of Yah. Y'all got to understand the word of Yah is not this book, okay? Even though he got some of his word in there, you're going to only know that through the spirit, what he has in here. And it's not from Genesis to Revelation. So a lot of things in here, people are controlling, deceiving, and manipulating people by using this book. I can beat you down because I know the book said, the book said, the book said. But what does my Father in heaven says? He says, seek ye the kingdom. And you can't seek the kingdom from this level. You have to seek the kingdom after the Ruach have seeked you. And then you seek him. You see, he abide in you, and then you abide in him. You remember Yeshua was saying, all that I have, all that thou hast given me, all that thou hast given me, I have not lost one. See, because you can't lose what Ahiah has given you. Man didn't give you anything. Ahiah gave it to you. So therefore, that which Ahiah given you didn't come out of this book. You get what I'm saying? So as I was doing my study on the word of Yah, I'm like, okay, I got a 100 verses, Father. I'm going to have to go through all of it. And as I got into it, you guys, I was eating it up. I said, Father, this shows all up in this book the difference between when you speak and when man speak. What is it these men not getting? He said, because they're using it as a technique of deceiving the people. As long as they can say it's in this book, it's in this book, the men will never search the book and see. You got to rightly divide this thing from spirit and truth and from the mouth of man. You can't take what the mouth of man have said and let it override the command of teaching people and basing it on a book, because you'll find out it's I'm just going to throw out a number. It's probably 75% out of the mouth of man. In the 30%, guess what? It over succeed what proceed out of the mouth of Yah. Even when Yeshua was on the mountain, he was telling Satan, it is written. Do y'all know what written means? That means heaven had gotten it already written down before the foundation of the world. Before the foundation of the world, he said, it is written. He's letting you know heavens has already written it down that man don't live on bread alone, but every word that proceed out of the mouth of Yah. So therefore, this not this book. So just to hear the apostle later on today, I was listening to it before I went live. I said, here he is teaching that thing. Wait a minute. I love it because I teach it from a standpoint of a prophetess. He teaches from a different standpoint of an apostle. But in spirit and truth, they saying the same thing. That's what made it so beautiful to in this late hour, and we running up on a minute, that Ahiah suffer me to come on one accord in listening to an apostle. So far from here, it's crazy. And he is good. He is good. And I'm going to tell you how bad it was. I was listening to one of his message and I felt the fear of Yah. I felt the fear of Yah. I began to say, Father, what is this I'm feeling? He said, that is me, the fear of who I am in thee. And now you're afraid because you have come upon someone else that have that same spirit that rests in you. Hallelujah. I'm telling you, it was beautiful. And like I said, when how I got this man, I'm sitting here reading this here and reading this here. And then I had my YouTube on and I said, just listening. And as I was in this study about the word of Yah, then I'm all of a sudden hear this man come teaching. And I said, hold up. Wait a minute. He trying to speak in tongue. Wait a minute. Let me hear what he's saying. Let me see. Let me just hear what he's saying. This man got in here, was teaching and went into tongues. When he went into tongues, I went in there with him. When that brother went into tongues, I went in there with him. And when he went into it, I began to understand what he was saying. But when he first went in to speaking in tongues, he went in, oh Father. And what I heard was, oh Father. He said, I heard him in the natural say, oh Father. And then in the spirit, I heard him say, I have, our Father, what you have told me, I am so sorry. I pray that what thou hast said unto me, bring it unto me again. I'm sitting here listening to this man that's saying this. I'm like, wait a minute. He's speaking that in tongue. And guess what he was saying? He was trying to tell the audience that he was giving them what Ahia had already given him. But he got up there and forgot it. He had forgot it. And he went into tongues, and I went there with him. Because, see, that's what I say. Be careful in who you think you entertain. You see what I'm saying? And as he went in, I went right behind him. I said, okay, give me my pencil and my piece of paper. Let me write this down. And it had all to do with him forgetting what Ahia had in him. And he was saying, oh, our Father, I am so sorry. I am so sorry you told I pray that thou hast said unto me what thou art saying. And what that was saying in the spirit of his tongue was speaking in spirit to the Father. And what he was saying is that, okay, you told me already. You had already given it to me. How is it I've forgotten? I'm sorry. And Ahia was bringing it back to him, bringing it back to his remembrance. That's what he was doing. And then when this man came back with wanting to remember, because he had forgot what Ahia had said. I think it was like a stage 1, 2, and 3. And when he got to the first stage, he did it real good. But when he got to the second one, it was like, I can't remember. And then he went into tongues, asking the Father in the spirit to give me what you have given me. You have said unto me, for I have, in a sense, forgotten. So Ahia said, I'm coming in. I'm coming in. It's called remembrance. Okay. So when he finished, he started teaching the word remembrance, and he went to Malachi chapter 3, 10 to 18. And it was about those that Ahia deal with. And in remembrance, beautiful. We're going to cover it, you guys. But I got to cover, we're going to get back to this guy here. Oh, it was so good. So, hey, y'all, I got me a treat. Now, Father, y'all, thank you so much. So the topic was, I was doing my study about the word of Yah. And what he was explaining to me is what he had already have explained to me. And that's this. That is this. You see these? These are, it is written. It is written that righteous belief and faith and fear is of me. That's a brand that I brand minds with before they get down there. No, it's not the righteousness of the flesh of man. No, this way and beyond man. Man can't touch this. So this is why many people that were the elects of the Most High, or higher, they came down to do the mission of the Father, and all the error and the wrongdoing, and they got into involved in things they should not have. Bam! This brought them out. This is what brought them out. Why? Because it was written in the heavens that they come out on top. Hallelujah. This man also, I got to say this here. He was talking about, you remember when I was telling y'all in the year 2003, you better look in that mirror and make sure you know whose side you on. Oh man, boy, he covered that thing in spirit and truth, but he came through a different way, same way through the front door. And he came in, and I was like, okay, Father, wait a minute, man. You done send me some help for my spirit. Give me food. You see what I'm saying? Give me, oh my goodness. Woo! So back to this again. I know I'm all over the place, but this is feeling good. It is written that man don't live on bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yah. Those that are able to pick up on the word of Yah are they that are branded for his name's sake. Let's go there. Let's go a little bit. Let's go there. Philippians chapter 2. Let's go there. We're gonna do a little something here. Philippians chapter 2, and we're gonna go 15 and 17. Okay. My pages are sticky. Philippians chapter 2, verse 15 and 17. You're going to need a pencil, paper, and a pen, because I'm going to give you this information regarding this prophet, not the prophet, apostle. See, Ahiah said that he gave 5 administrative positions, okay? And there was apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and then teachers. I don't understand how these two got on the top of the pole over these 3. They shouldn't. They out of order. Remember, he said the whole earth is out of order. The world, pretty much, not the earth, but the world. The reason why is because they took on position that he didn't call them to, and that's what you see today. People taking position that they're not ordained by spirit, ordained and anointed and appointed. When it was written in the heavens. They down here shaking hands with Satan and his demons and taking on the positions of the true ones. And because of that, the gate is so broad, overriding the narrow gate, is because so many have taken on a trait saying that they are these pastors and bishops and seers and watchmen and all of these things that Ahiah didn't call them with a holy calling. See, they don't understand. This thing is spirit, you guys. That's why they cannot teach people on these devil platforms spirit and truth. That's a way that you can rightly divide who's who and what's what. Are they speaking spirit and truth, or are they speaking out of their flesh? Are they speaking out of this book? Then they are not spirit and truth, because spirit and to teach you all things, and it don't need a book to teach you. All right, it comes from the inside and teaches you and molds you and shapes you, and then it comes on the outside and give you something to at least study on. But it don't tell you to come from the outside and then see how it works for you in the inside. Greater is he from the outside than he that's on it. From the inside than he that's on the outside. So how you like him now? He coming from the end. So what are we doing? We're trying to beat this book on people's heads and done a successful job. But Ahiah made that broad gate just right. He already had the numbers counted that will go therein. So I lost my page. In Philippians chapter 2, I lost my page. Let me get to it. We're going to get there. And verse 15 to 17. Oh, so excited about this apostle. Woo! Yes. Verse 15. Oh, I was telling you about the administrative positions. Along with the administrative position, he gave a lot of gifts out. Nobody taking on their gifts. You know why? They're afraid. They don't know what it's for. They don't even know it's something there. It is so many different gifts, but the fivefold was something that he put forward. You know, Yeshua started off with apostles. Okay? We know that before there was apostles, there were prophets. And then there was prophets in the new. But I'm just saying, he started the count as far as the administrative positions from the apostle, then the prophets. The thing about the apostle and the prophet, both of them position is totally different, but they need each other. They got to work with each other, even though they can be distanced from each other, not knowing each other. They still got to come on one end, and that's the righteous end of the Most High or higher when they finish. That's why I can feel joy in me, even though I don't know this individual. Yes, he's somewhere over in Africa. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's who he is in the spirit of my spirit. You see? Now listen to this. In Philippians chapter 2 and verse 15 and 17. Here we go. 15 says, that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of Yah. Blameless. That's them. Because what? It's already written. Where is it written? In the Lamb Book of Life. How you like them now? So don't let people on the outside, don't let people in these churches, these pastors, these leaders, these prophets, these prophetess, and all of them try to dictate to you who a higher is in you. They need to check themselves more so than anything. Because his is already marked. I can feel y'all. I can feel the mark. And I had to say that because I really can. I can really, in the last 2 days, I can really feel that thing. Hallelujah. Now watch this here. In verse 15, Philippians chapter 2 and verse 15, that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of Yah, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked, perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. How you like them now? See, these men would get into these camps, these academies, these churches, out in the woods with these women, and out everywhere, all over the world. These so-called Hebrew Israelite wannabe think they are and not sure who they are. Let me tell you why they're not sure. Because they in doubt in everything that they're doing. That's why they fighting the heathens. Instead of bowing down to the Most High or higher, they out there cutting up from the floor with the heathens. Higher didn't tell you to do that. Where you can find that? He didn't tell you to do that. But Satan, they dancing with Satan. Now listen to this. In 15, he's talking about, listen to this in 15, that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of Yah, without rebuke, in the midst of a perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights, hallelujah, in the world. I told y'all, let your light shine. This coming up calendar year, as the world calls it, show up and show out in the name of the Most High, higher. You see, be that light to the world. Now watch this here, verse 16, holding forth the word of life. You see, holding forth what? The word of life. You think this book is the word of life? You sick. No, this ain't it. This can't abide into your spirit. Your spirit overrides this book when Ahia is greater in you. Okay, now watch what it says in verse 16. Holding forth the word of life, that I may rejoice in the day of what? You see Christ there? Where is Yeshua? Where is Yeshua? Where is Yeshua? Now, let me read it to you so you can get it. Holding forth the word of life, that I may rejoice in the day of power, that I have not ran in vain, neither labored in vain, but in the day of power. That's when the vengeance of the Most High Yah is set forth, in the day of power. That's why you don't see Yeshua here. You see Christ, the power of who Ahaya is. Now, you go to verse 17. Yea, and if I be offered up the sacrifice and service of your faith. Listen to this again. Verse 17. Yea, and if I be offered upon the sacrifice and the service of your faith. Ain't faith there? I joy. It says faith, I joy and rejoice with you all. Faith is one of them, y'all. It's a brand. Because when I was asking him, how is you going to let these Gentiles come in? How they coming in? He said, Deborah, they coming in through belief and faith. I said, how they going to do that? Just believe it and just say, I got faith with their mouth? He said, no, Deborah, they branded with it. And everyone that said, Lord, Lord, ain't about me. That's just Satan. So he already got his branded. They're going to return those who already branded. When were they branded? When it was written. Their name been written already in the land. So don't let nobody down here on the earth dare make you get into their group, they cult, their religion and what they believe in. Because guess what? If you are of a higher, you are already branded. And it's not from the outside, it's from the inside. That's why Ahaya was telling me today, when this very sick woman messaged me, he said, Deborah, look how she's saying your fruit. She too ignorant to understand the fruit of the spirit is that which it says of the spirit. So how can she see your fruit? Hallelujah. I didn't even think to even think of it like that. He was just saying that's how bent a lot of these people go to these churches, get up under these pastors, and it's like a bad tree. Once they fall from that tree, they ain't got sense enough to fall from the tree, crawl out, and go seek kingdom of heaven. Instead, they seek their own understanding, their own wisdom. Why? Because they seeking the same wisdom and knowledge that they got from the bad tree itself. It still lives in them. You see, even though they fall from the tree, they become the tree itself, even when they crawl from under the tree and go elsewhere. Because they still ain't got the sense to seek ye the kingdom of Ahaya first. Because that's what you should have been doing anyway before you fell from the bad tree. But they don't have the sense. But when people talk about, the Father was telling me, when they talk about the fruit of the Spirit, they fail to realize all they know is the fruit. All they know is the fruit, Deborah. They'll say the fruit, your fruit. But see, they missed out the main thing. The Spirit. It's called fruit of the Spirit. And how would you know anything about the fruit of the Spirit when you the fruit of Satan? You see, it is written that we don't live on bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yah. And it is spirit and it is truth. Now listen to this. In verse 17, it says, Philippians chapter 2 and verse 17, yea, and if I be offered upon the sacrifice and service of your faith, faith is a brand, y'all, from the Most High. These are spiritual brands. Once you receive these, guess what? Nobody can touch you. No matter what you do. That's what he was saying in 15. That ye may be blameless. Can't nobody be running up trying to rebuke you because you are the true fruit of the Spirit. Because you've been branded for his name's sake. The fruit that represents him, to represent Ahaya, is righteous, belief, faith, and fear. Those are brands already. When? Okay, now let's go. I'm gonna take you where I'm going. Let's go to Hebrew chapter 11, so you can understand that while everybody trying to get you locked in to what they run in their mouth about, don't take this book and make it the word of God. the word of God or the word of Yah. Don't take it. Don't do it. Because that's how they manipulating and deceiving these men. And they want to debate from this book. You know why? Because they want to take every word that proceed out of the mouth of man and make it righteous. And the highest said they can't do it unless they're Satan himself wanting to battle Satan himself. You see, that's what they're doing. Wicked is battling wicked in the wicked words that they take out of here. But Ahia said you'll never hear them get what proceed out of my mouth. Because if they get what proceed out of Ahia's mouth, every last one of them probably fall backwards and die. That's how deep the word that proceed out of the mouth of Yah is. It's a two-edged sword. It's going to pierce one way, and when it swings the other, it's going to pierce you. And somebody who walking around here living a hypocrite life and deceiving people from this book, guess what? The word of Yah will cause them to fall dead. And they don't even understand the only reason why you still using this book, because you are of Satan, the children of Satan. And you taking out every word that proceed out of the mouth of man and have no Ruach HaKodesh to teach you the word that proceed out of the mouth of Yah. So you go along with the word that proceed out of the mouth of man. And that's why they can beat these men and train these women to go up under their captivity, their submissive will. This is how they do it. They reach in here and pull out everything a man have said. Everything a man has said is, if it does not proceed out of the mouth of Yah, meaning you actually can hear it. That's what this was about, y'all. Every time, I'm going to see if I can bring it up a little bit. Every time he said, and I said, and Ahia said, the word said, and the word of Yah said. I mean, that it's taught me the deepness of how you can easily separate what proceed out of the mouth of man from what proceed out of the mouth of Yah. And all he's saying, when you do your study, separate the two, but climb on top of me, and I'll meet you there. That's why I said study, so you can separate the two. And if you're studying it just to show yourself, I come and meet you where self is at, and I bring you up in spirit and truth, so you'll know the truth of the matter of what you're reading. 99.9 men, or even elderly men, don't even know what they're reading. They don't know nothing about what they're reading. Now, in the next one was Hebrews chapter 11, verse. We're gonna start with verse 1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. So you see how ignorant people would turn around and say, yeah, your fruit. You don't believe, that's your fruit. But faith is not seen. You see why? It is a brand from the inside that Ahia brands he is with. Now let me hear me out. Hear me out. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You don't see this, so it's something in you that hopes. It's not what you see that caused you to gain this hope. It's what you don't see, because it is spirit and it is truth. And that's why it's important for you all to understand spirit and truth is always 100% greater than this book. Always remember that. Now watch this here. Listen to this. I'm going to show you how I was saying to you, these here was, it was written. This is written before the foundation of the world. Verse 2. For by it, the elders obtain a good report. By what? How did the elders back in the Bible obtain a good report? Through faith. Through faith. Now watch this here. Verse 3. Through faith, we understand that the world were framed by the word of God. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up, Ahia. Ahia. Hold up. In the beginning was what? The word, and the word was with Ahia. And the word is Ahia. Now listen to this. Verse 3. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yah. How was it framed? He spoke it, and his power brought it forth. You see? So how are you going to tell somebody that the word of Yah is this book? When the word is, and the word was before this book. You see? The whole world was framed by the word of Yah, not by the book, but by the word of Yah. Now listen to what it says. So that things which ye see, which are seen, were not made of things which do appear. You see, he's letting you know his word created and framed everything. That what? Not made by the things which do appear. See, we're running around here giving this credit and putting these men on pedestals. And all they doing is whooping these men tails with this book, not knowing that it is not the word, you guys. It is not the word. Now listen to here. Verse 3. Through faith, we understand. Through faith, we understand. Now, wait a minute. Hold up now. Through faith, it says we understand. Who is we, Father? Ahia. The ones that I'm in. The one that my spirit rests in. Verse 3. Through faith, we understand. We that has faith understand. What is understanding? Anybody know in the live chat? Understanding is the Ruach HaKodesh. It is the spirit of Yah. That's why he told you in all you're getting. It's not wisdom, Deborah. It's not knowledge. It's understanding. So get understanding. You got to get it. That is his Ruach HaKodesh. His Ruach HaKodesh is understanding. Now let's go back again. Hebrew chapter 11, verse 3. Through faith, we, the anointed, understand the Ruach HaKodesh, that the world was framed by the word of Yah. Only he that through faith, those that has the understanding, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, understand that the world was framed by the word of Yah and not by the mouth of man in this book. And that's where we messed up from the floor. Now watch this here. Listen to what it said. So that things which are seen were not made. So he wants you to know. You go on and make man think that they can tell you this book. The things were created, were not made of the things which do appear. Letting you know, man ain't made nothing. Man ain't made this word. Man can't sit and tell you because they printed it up and tamper with it that this is the word. It came through faith, you all. Here it is. Faith. Something you can't even see. It's something in you, which is the Ruach HaKodesh that's greater than he that is in the world. See? That's what faith. That's what belief. That's how the Gentiles came. The Gentiles came in through belief and faith. And that too was branded in the Gentiles that was already predestined. Why? Because it was written. Their name had already been written. And as you go to Revelation, it tells you how they too will be in the kingdom. Because it was already written in them. Yeshua HaMashiach just was walking the word that was already spoken before it was. That's how powerful Ahia is. He did. And it became. The lamb was slaughtered before it was. You see what I'm saying? So all this monkeying around down on this earth trying to manipulate people and deceive people is the work of Satan. He comes to deceive the whole world. The whole world. And that came out of the mouth of Yah. He come to deceive the whole world. That what is it we don't get about that? But the ones that he deceived, he can deceive the sons of Yah. But guess what? He can only deceive the flesh because the spirit is already branded before the foundation of the world. It was written in the Lamb book of life. You see, they were already written. Okay, now watch this here. In verse, here we go. Verse 4. By faith. There you go. See, a lot of people didn't know who Abel was. I knew. And matter of fact, as a teenager, I knew that he wasn't the seed of Abraham. Now, Adam and Eve, I knew that. Because when Adam and Eve knew each other, they came and they spoke of having a man child. And they said Eve had Abel, but never said Adam and Eve knew each other again and had a son called Abel like they did the whole scriptures. You see? So I'm like, where Abel come from? You said, where he come from? See, we think we take this creator like the flesh of these ugly men. And he has no detachment to this. And that's where we fall because we try to make the Most High a higher a man and the ways of a man. And he is not. And either themselves trying to make a higher a man. You hear an ignorant pastor anytime. This is where you know Satan has stepped in for sure. 100. When you can hear a pastor say that the Most High was actually practicing polygamy because he had 2 wives. When you can bring a higher down that low, and these men on this devil platform don't step into the somebody that talk like that, that's because they are not who they say they are. When a man can stand on this nationwide platform and tell the whole world that God had 2 wives because they want to practice polygamy, they bring it in the realm, which is spirit and truth. You can't do that, child, but he did it. And not one man stood on top of his head, crushed the serpent head. Not one. That just shows you how narrow the gate really is. That everybody is willing to go in that same broad gate with that sick pastor that said that they are willing to go therein. You do not match the Most High or higher with the sin and the ways and the wickedness of man. But that also taught me something. How far God is me to allow another man. And he said, at the sound of that man's voice, every man that has heard that man speak that and did not stand up against it, they are going in the same direction that he is going into. Because no one said anything, you guys. No one said, well, wait a minute, you can't say that. That can't be true. You don't take parables or take examples and make it the sin of the world. The way they do things on the earth, you cannot apply that and say that Ahia had. That's not what he was saying. That's not who he is. First of all, a wife is only in the flesh, stupid. Wives is only in the flesh. You can't get no wives nor a wife in the spirit. And that shows you how they serve Satan, connected Ahia to the flesh of man. Okay, now here it says, verse 4, by faith, Abel offered unto Ahia a more excellent sacrifice. Why? He was branded. You know, a lot of pastors always say, I wonder how did Abel knew to give an offering? How did Abel know to give an offering? That's because when you brand it for his name's sake, there are going to be ways of his ways of you being his servant, resting therein. That's why I say at the beginning of the year, if you ain't done it at the end of the year, look in the mirror. Find out who you are and who you serve. Because most of you serving the flesh of man, and Ahia want me to let you know it's all well. You do just that. You do just that. Now, in verse 4, in Hebrew chapter 11, verse 4, By faith, Abel offered unto Ahiah a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous. What do we see in there? There you go. That he was what? Righteous. What? Faith and righteous. Abel was branded already, y'all. They were branded. He was branded already. Now let's go down to verse 5. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because Ahiah had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased Ahiah. But how did he come? By faith. Look at 5. By faith. There you go. There go that faith. That's Enoch. You see what I'm trying to get you all to see? These are brands of the Most High Ahiah that's already branded in you. It is written. That means before the foundation of the world, you have these brands, and you're not going to be looked at like the world and the things that Satan got many deceived by or in. Now watch this here. As you go on, you got to go to verse 6. And this is what verse 6, Hebrew chapter 11, verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. You see what I'm saying, you all? What's the deal, Father, y'all? What's the deal with that? If they don't have faith, how is it they can please you? He said they can't, Deborah. Because the brand of faith is who I am. I branded in mine. Those that don't have it, they can't please me. They can run around here and have a church with 1 million members. They can teach this book back to front to back, Greek and Hebrew. It don't mean nothing if they don't have my brands branded in them for my name's sake. Now listen to this. Verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Ahiah must believe. There go believe. See, didn't I tell y'all? See, that he is. See, believe. Okay. And that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Now, what do you see in verse 6? Faith and belief. See, a lot of people, you know what? I'm going to tell y'all something. A lot of people will bypass this because they really think they somebody in Ahiah. And I think they need to continue thinking they somebody because it's over. It's finished. And I liked it the way this man was teaching because I saw another one, his video saying the same thing. But what I'm going to tell y'all, what really got that first video I heard was talking about what I'm talking about now. But guess what else he had in it? He started off by saying, if you don't know who you are, in the year of 2003, I'm telling you, it's so much of what this here apostle was teaching that it was very anointed, off the chain. It made me feel good because it let me know that, see, Deborah, I have minds out. I know the gate is narrow, like I said, but don't estimate that I don't have minds. You see? And what I'm telling you right now, many will never come to the knowledge of it because they love the flesh of man. It's just like it been all throughout the beginning, since Genesis all the way now, when Cain killed Abel, when Adam and Eve decided to sit near the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and bypass the other trees to sit in the midst of that one and entertain that one. Still today, it's the same way. It isn't that thousands of years later, people still sitting amongst the tree of knowledge and good, desiring to be fed from it and entertained by it. Okay, now listen to this. Let's go a little bit further. Hebrew chapter 11, verse 7. By faith, Noah, being warned of Ahiah, of things not seen as yet. You see, there go that faith. You see that? Then you drop down to verse 8. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go into the place which he should after receive for an inheritance. By how did he come? By faith. By faith. Look at verse 9. By faith, he sojourned into the land of promise. By faith did Abraham do that. See what faith is at? Do you see what was pushing Abraham through? The branch, y'all. In spite of whatever Abraham did, he was branded. These men today, oh no, baby. They fruit of not being branded shows who they are. That's the true fruit. They don't have the spirit of these things, nor are they teaching those things because they don't know nothing about it. So they got to get the book and make you think everything in here is teaching you how to live from beginning to the end, and it's not. That's the only way they can deceive you. Did you all know that? The only way they can deceive you is through this book. And that's why they constantly keep adding on new King James, new version, new edition, always another book. And they saying the same thing, even and change words in it. But people are following it. Now watch this here. And look at verse 11. It says, through faith also Sarah herself received the strength to conceive seed. Through what? Through faith. See, y'all don't even know what that means. And that's what I think is sad. Because as I was listening to this man, it was almost like he's called to the body of Hamashiach, just like I am. We are called to different position, but he's showing me. See, I never had everybody on over here and over here and over here saying different things, Deborah. Now you have found someone that's saying it totally different in the way you're saying it, but your spirit can adapt to what he's saying because it matches what you're saying to the T in spirit and in truth. And I thought that was, now look at this here. I want y'all to look at here. Down at Hebrew chapter 11, verse 13. These all died. Mm-mm. These all died in faith. Then I tell y'all, these are brands. No matter, he's telling you all of these from Abel to Enoch to Noah to Abraham to Sarah. These are all those that have died in faith, because faith is a brand of the Most High, or higher, that was branded in them. So they died with it. Mm-hmm. So that there, I wanted to give to you. And I wanted to say to you all that it's important for you to understand the fruit of the Spirit is not what man say that it is. It is what a higher say that it is. And you have to take it 2 words: fruit, spirit. Spirit, fruit. You see what I'm saying? Faith is the substance of things unseen. Not what you see and believe, it's what you hope for, but yet you believe. You don't see it. Well, that's how the fruit of the Spirit is. People don't even understand that they have a spirit. They call it a soul. They don't understand you're fighting against, what he say? Flesh and spirit. Flesh fights against the spirit. You have a spirit. It fights against your flesh. Your flesh fight against your spirit. And who did he say is your worst enemy? Your flesh. Why? Because it fights against your spirit that's willing to have a higher to come and abide. But because it rather deal in the flesh realm and not the spirit, where a higher can come and abide in him, a higher let him go, because he already know they are not those that are branded. So let me let them go where they desire to be and to rest therein. That's deep. So when you get in here and you begin to think that these people on this devil platforms, and I oh boy, he gave me so much to let me know that I've been branded. I sit back and I hear stuff. Just sit back and listen to people and see how far from any righteousness, any faith, any belief, any fear. And I was in here dealing with all these scriptures talking about fear. And it is off the chain. He that fear a higher has been sent by a higher. You see? And it's sad because these things y'all didn't hear while you were in the church, while you were awakened through the Hebrew Israelite movement. These things, these people don't even know nothing about this, y'all. They don't know who's branded by for his name's sake, because they don't know these things gonna override their mouth any time of the day. This here overrides Sister Deborah's mouth. This here overrides this book. This here override anything. Why? Because it is written. That's when he said, I predestined you, I ordained you, I foreknew you before you was in your mother's womb. Why? Because I put this in you for you to represent me. So if you don't have and don't know who you are in him, then you better check yourself out real good. Most of the people don't even want to check themselves out, because for what they would do, they would read in here and say all Israel is going to be saved. That's like saying everybody that's in Israel have been following Satan and his demons, but that's okay. You still gonna be saved. Come on now, y'all. Come on now. That don't make sense. But that comes out of the mouth of man. And that's why Ahia wants you to know the difference. What proceed out of the mouth of Yah is when it says, and the word of Yah came unto them or spoke unto them. The word proceed out of the mouth of Yah. You can't dictate what proceed out of his mouth. You do not have the Ruach HaKodesh. Because he said, I'm going to show you another thing that it has said. He said that this thing comes by hearing. Where did he say comes by reading? Where does it say it comes by this book? Where does it say it comes by studying? No. Hearing. He that has our ear to hear. Not ears, because when he said ears, he's talking about the flesh. But when he said ear, he's talking about the spirit. He that has a spirit that I abide therein, let him hear. He said he is sheep, knoweth his voice, and heareth his voice. These things are spiritual. I hear and I see these men trying to battle this book. And I used to always say, Father, why are they trying to meet up with each other to debate one another? He said, because they have deceived so many through this book. They need to debate the things of the flesh. The word out of here, out of the flesh mouth, not out of my mouth. That's what they debate. And lo and behold, I sat back and listened to a debate. I said, wait a minute. None of them quote Ahia said, Yeshua said, nor the word of Yah said, or the word of Yah came unto. No one used that. They use every word that proceed out of the mouth of man. Did they battle? They used it, because you can't get in here and make somebody live by this. This is not life. And this apostle, he said to them, and I'm telling you, I just found this man this around about 12 o'clock this, and I just love him. The people 7 minutes, 7.20 minutes, he's telling the people about this book is not the kingdom. I laughed. I said, see, he said the kingdom. This is not the kingdom. This will show you things that in the kingdom, but it's not the kingdom. He's telling the people, you can't get to y'all by this. And that's what they're using to debate and to come up on top of Christians and come up on top of different religion. You know why Sister Deborah don't mess with nobody's religion? And like I told y'all, I don't mess with nobody's religion and what they believe in. Because when Ahia tells me he can cause the rocks to praise him and to cry out, I say, I better shut up. You don't go after nobody's nothing. Because when I saw this man, this is the difference between me and many. When I heard this man's voice, you know what I did? My first thing is, let me get my paper and my pencil. Let me go boxing his eyes. Because his eyes is like shaky and like, they different. I'm going to box his eyes. I'm getting ready to box his eyes to see who he is. He talking too good. Let me box his eyes. And Father told me, Deborah, he was born that way. So you cannot box his eyes. Because I'm about to use the tools in which Ahia has anointed and appointed me with. I was about to box this man's eyes. And he was talking so good. I said, no, let me box them eyes. I was going to box the eyes because his eyes I could box. But every time I was going in there with my pen and trying to draw his eyes on a piece of paper, wondering why I couldn't get it to match into the box, he was saying, the father was saying, because he was born with a problem up in here. So you can't box his eyes. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. He said, do you hear him? I said, I hear him, Father. I hear him. And that's when I began. He was saying something about three things. He got on the first one, but on the second one, he couldn't remember it. And he said, that's what happens. And then he said, oh, Father. Did he say, oh, yeah, he said, oh, Father. And then he went into tongues. And I said, okay, there you go. He's speaking in tongues. I got my piece of paper and started writing down what he was saying. I said, oh, wait a minute. Let me start him over again. Woo. Said, wait a minute. He's talking. And then he turned around, was saying how he couldn't remember. But then he went so deep in the spirit and said, okay, now our verse is to go to Malachi chapter 3, verse 16. And when he went there, oh my, Ahia, he ate it up. And I was like, okay, that was good. That was good. So I was able to interpretate his tongues. And that is one part that made me really realize that this man is in there. And what I really appreciate is the Father is allowing me. I've been on this devil platform for 4.5 years, and I've heard men speak and be wanting them to open up the keys. But for Ahia, open up the door with the keys, but they never had the keys in their hand. This man, the way he was talking, I could understand in the spirit of what he was saying, because it was saying the same thing I already said. But he went a little higher. I love it. I love it. I love you. And that's what our Father was saying. We all need each other in the body of Hamashiach. The apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, and the pastors. So happened the pastors came to be the top ones because they don't listen to the apostles. They don't listen to the prophets. They don't listen to nobody. They just jump the gun because this here. And all of them want to be pastors to lead the flock away from the Most High Yah. And they did a successful job. And still today feel very high and mighty about leading the people out of the righteous will of Yah. You see, still talking that same yang yang, and every scripture they want to debate is scriptures what man didn't open up his mouth. No one ever want to think when what does proceed out of the mouth of Yah. And when he says, study to show thyself approved, rightly dividing what? The word of truth. Huh? What's wrong? What's wrong? They don't get that. But they get the book and they get all the things that they can beat somebody on to say, oh, I found David's sin and Abraham's sin and Abraham this. And they want to get Jacob, every wicked thing that the men were portraying through the permissive will. They want to climb on top and adopt it and let it become a lifestyle of people. I wouldn't advise not one woman to submit herself to a man until that man has learned to submit himself to the Most High, Ahia, and spirit and truth. And if he's not submitted in spirit and truth, you better not submit yourself to no man. You better not. And if you did and you have, that's on you, baby. Know that the apple in which you have detached yourself to on that tree, when you see that tree starting to rot and be a bad tree, you have even if you fall off and crawl from under that tree, you're going to still have the state of mind that bad tree have. And that's why the men can't get away from the bad tree. It's because the bad tree keep using this book to lead and guide and to keep them under that tree. And they have chosen it 100. So when and I like that what he was saying too. He was talking about how it's going to end, where we at today. I mean, this man was nailing everything. And I know it was for me. I know it was for me because what it did to my spirit. knew it was for me because to what this man was saying was doing to my spirit. That was it. That was it. Even as I listened to his watch, I was listening to him teaching and just looking into his where all the people were at. And I was saying to the Father, they don't get it, do they, Father? And he said, no, they don't. They don't get it. And I said that goes back to what you said. The gate is narrow. It's a thing that you have to find. You got to find that gate. It has to be found. So I suggest each and every last one of you all, if you find time going into the year, seek the Father and ask him, are you branded for his name's sake? If you are, don't be caught up in what people want to say about you, what people think of you, what people want to control you and tell you how you're supposed to eat, look, walk, talk. Because guess what? If you branded for his name's sake, that was before the foundation of the world. What are they talking about? Wait. You're branded for his name's sake. So therefore, you are the light of the world. What are they talking about? They're the light to each other. They're the darkness to each other because they want to train you to believe a book is spirit and truth. You know, ain't no book, spirit and truth. So what it led me was he took me today again, and this is what he said to me. I'm gonna show y'all something he said to me because I was totally confused by this. And I know now one of you all ever thought of that, but I was because I was like, why you have to be like that? Why you have to be like that? Because I can hear his fears. And it still rests today. And I understand it now in its fullness, but it still rests today in why it was said like this. When you go to John, the Gospel of John, verse 1, if you ever thought to even verse 1 and verse 2, if you ever thought in the Gospel of John how it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Ahia, and the Word was Ahia. The same was in the beginning with Ahia. I'm like, okay, Father, what's all that about? He said, I had to make a and I had John to say that in that way for those that are elect that get why he kept trying to inform that, look, I am the Word, and the Word was, and the Word is, and the Word was with me, and the Word was me. The same was in the beginning with me. How you like me now? How you gonna tell me the book is a word? And I've told you it was with me at the beginning. I am the Word. I was here before this book, and anything in it stepped down, I was. So how you gonna make this book and train people that the fruit of the Spirit is a book that you deceive the people with? That's why they can. He said they can debate the book and look foolish, and that's why neither one gives. He said because it's nothing to give. It's no spirit and truth in what they're saying. It's no spirit and truth in what they speaking. There's no spirit and truth of what they debated. They debating what word came out of the mouth of man. They ain't debating what comes out of the mouth of Yah, because you can't debate that. That is all righteous already. It don't need you to debate it. It stands on its own. So what are you standing on? You see? Pride. Want to be boost, pride-minded, self-centered, self-motivated, a psychopath, a hypocrite. That's what they standing on. Because they can't stand on spirit and truth. And I love it because the Father has said in there so many times about the light, y'all. They don't stand on the light either. You are the light of the world. How? Because I put belief, faith, righteousness, and fear in you. You are the true light. And that's one of the scriptures I started off with, telling you. That's the true light. While we're running around here detaching ourselves with people who don't even have the light to be set up on a hill so the world could see. Because darkness has overwhelmed and has taken over. But shouldn't it? Yes, it should. Because Ahia said, Satan has now come down to deceive the whole world. Do you see where the narrow gate is at? It was always prophesied that he would deceive the whole world. And then the highest standing by and said, but I got my small remnant. I got mines that would find the narrow gate. But Satan has deceived the whole world, and they won't teach you that because they thinking they all righteous. And you know what I learned too? In the last couple of weeks, I learned no matter what you say that's righteous. No matter what you say in spirit and truth, no matter how you might quote the word of Yah, spirit and truth, darkness will not embrace it. A lady today I was explaining, let me give you a little. I realized that this person is very, very ill to the point where there's no healing. This person is so ill because what I was saying to this individual that you are very sick, okay? And what you have to understand that Ahia said he comes for the sick. You see what I'm saying? So what the father showed me, I'm not coming for that type of sickness, Deborah. That sick been sick since they came out of their mother's womb. I said, I get it. I get it. I get it. They didn't come out like this. You see what I'm saying? They came out of their mother's womb sick. And I want to say this to a lot of women. If you were left with your children in a way that you have caused so much evil and wicked to live in their lives to where when they begin to live their own life, they don't have no life to live because all the darkness and wicked you have allowed to come into the household. Women don't care about if, and I ain't gonna say all of them, I'm just saying some don't care if they have a man that's on drugs, a pedophile, a man that a sex offender, a murderer. They don't care. They just want what they want. These are people who got a sick problem already. And then you bring this sickness in the amongst your children as little children, and they grow up with being molested, your sons and your daughters. And then when they grow up, they live a life that they have lived in the household of that one that Ahai is going to hold liable. Why? Because you brought wicked and evil into their household as a child, and you let wicked and evil take over them because you wanted what you wanted, and you didn't care that this wicked and evil was destroying your children. It didn't please you. It didn't matter until you got realized the reason why your children messed up from the flow up is because how you conducted yourself. Let me give y'all an example. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I think I told y'all this before. And I had moved in Atlanta, Georgia, and in this house. And next door to this house was this assistant pastor, her son, and her grandchildren, two or three of her grandchildren. And they saw us move in and everything, and then we had, and and I think she came over with something to give us this. You know how they welcome you in, and she was talking about she's assistant pastor at a church, and she had to been like 70, 72 years old like that, but she was that 72 that can get around and didn't look 72. And she began to tell me how she was going to that she own her and her pastor, she's the assistant pastor of the church, and that if we ever wanted to go to church, she wanted to just make sure we know that we're in, she's inviting us. And I met her son, I think at that time he was up in his 56. And every Sunday you see them get ready, and throughout the week you see them get ready sharp. Her son used to dress from head to toe, y'all. This man used to be so sharp. He wasn't a bad looking man at all. But they used to go to church all the time. All the time. And this particular day, she invited us to church. And it was an evening, and her and I sat down, and we had sat down. She said, I can't wait to tell my pastor. I can't wait to tell my pastor who you are. You are a anointed woman. Because we talked. And so that Sunday, I went to her to visit her church. I think we had been there for about 3 months, and I got a chance to visit her church. When I came into the church after service with over, this lady, this assistant pastor come running down, which is my neighbor, and to get me come up to so she can introduce me to her pastor. You know, that lady went out that back door, taking off, and she was like, "Why would she leave?" I said to myself, "Why would she leave? She know what's up." See, spirit knows, wicked spirit knows the anointed spirits of the most high are higher. A lot of them will stand down. A lot of them will. But you got those who have done so much wicked and evil, they would run and flee before they stand down. You see, but you got a lot of them that'll stand down. But you got a lot that'll take off and run. You see, that's because their spirit knows your spirit and that who your spirit is. So when she left out that door, I didn't tell that lady didn't even come back. And I went on, and the church still had people all in it. And she said, maybe next time you come to church, I don't know why she left. You know, that's what she was saying. I knew why. But her son came to me like 2 weeks later, and she said, he said, I know that you are a prophet because I could feel it. That's what her son was saying. And he was older than I am. I mean, he was older than me. And he was saying, but if it's any way that I can just sit down and tell you my story. So I told him yes. I went and got two chairs out, set it out on the back porch, and me and him just talked until it was late night. And he told me his life. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. And I believe a lot of our women are living as if they have not wounded their children in so many ways. Their children are living with ways that mother has suffered and has allowed to come upon them. Mother is supposed to be, if he don't have a father in the household, seem like they would be more protective of their children and wanting their children to have the best since they missing the better part, which is the father in the household. You would think a mother would want to make up for that and make sure that the child is protected, and safe and have the things that he or she needs. Instead, when the mother goes around in circles, they take their children and don't feel that. And see, I think a lot of them think the children's not going to grow up. Oh, and they're not going to remember. But why would you do that? So this is what the man told me. He said, I know that you are a prophet because I can discern your spirit. That's why I asked you if I can come over and talk with you because I hold it in, but I need to talk to someone. And he went on to telling me about his mother. His mother was the lady next door, and he was saying she's assistant pastor. And he was telling me he's the drum player. He's been a drum player for many years, but he said it hurts him so bad that his mother can go and pray and shout and praise the most, Jesus Christ, and really, be in the church every time the doors open. He said, but she have made my life a living hell. And did you know? You didn't know this, but he said that his mother was on drugs, and he had been raped by so many men since he was like 3 years old, always up until he was a teenager. She would sell his body for drugs. He said many times they even got off beating him. He said so many things have happened, and my mother now is in church praising God, you know, and don't have no remorse or can't feel what I'm going through. And what he was going through is he became one that was drinking alcohol. He showed me pictures of his daughters. He had three daughters, and they were dead gorgeous. He said, I can't even spend time with my children because I'm so messed up as a man. I can't even face my three daughters. And his wife, beautiful woman. Oh, they go to a different church, but he was saying he told his wife. His wife says, "Okay, I accepted you. We brought these kids. It don't matter." He says it's too hard for him to deal with, to see his mother just going on with her life after she have ruined his. Now you see what I'm saying? That's what a lot of mothers do and have done. They have done so much evil and wicked. Now let me explain to you though. The first one is going to be brought to the altar is going to be the men because these are his seed. These are his seed. Okay. But the women is going to be judged also for allowing. See, people think you're not going to be going to hell because you allow wrong and evil to be done to people. Oh, no, no, no. You're going to catch up with it's going to catch up. It's going to meet you at the altar come judgment. See, a lot of people looking at, like I told my son, it don't, it in here. It began on the other side where it's no ending of the lake of fire. See, and no one really believed any of that because no one even think that, a higher is that individual. They so hung up on, I want to do evil, I want to drink, I want to whore, I want to lust, I want to do me down here on the earth in my flesh. And I see him on the other side because I've been praising him. I've been glorifying. I've been teaching the people to follow him. Baby, please, in the midst of your sin, wicked darkness, you can teach a multitude, all of them going down the same dark tunnel because they followed you. Isn't that deep? Isn't that deep? He ain't looking at them talking about they following something different. He said, when you follow them, you following Satan. I'm not going to look at you as if you following me, following Satan. That don't make any sense. And that's what a lot of people are doing. When you don't seek ye the kingdom of a higher first, and you run to seek man and put man on a pedestal and put a higher at your feet. When you get what you said, what's that? What they say, you make your own bed. It's just that you got to understand that bed that you made up. Guess what? It was made up in heaven. You just didn't know that. See, that's where he said, Ahia said, my mystery was given to my prophets for servants. See, and that's why people won't accept prophets because they always came with truth and they won't accept it. So they would rather for you to be a liar and they will make you a liar. They will make you Satan. They'll make you this and that and this. But what they didn't understand, bam, it is written. It is written that I am branded, so are others, for his name's sake. Praise the mighty Yah. And that's what they never taught. Never, ever, 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 ever. In the Catholics, in the Christians, in no religion have they, even in the Hebrew Ushulai, they never taught them that because they don't know nothing about it. He said, he that hears my voice or mine's. You see, he knows who knows what. And I like that because I thank him for not putting it in my hand and no other's hand. Because you see how they took it. Look at all these mega churches and look at all these people following. Even over in Africa, how they following all this here and worshiping a white God and worshiping in their own way, in their own form. You see? And ain't worshiping spirit and truth. The spirit of the Most High Ahia. I had to go to my mom's the other day. And she called for me. So I told my son, when my mom called me and said, can I come? I go running. I go running. I go running. So my son and I went over there and she wanted me to also come because our cousin, my far cousin, not my far, a cousin that's probably 10 years older than I am, but it's my mother's niece, one of her oldest niece was there. And when I saw that lady, I saw her, but I saw a glow about her. You know what I'm saying? And as we were talking about the TV in which we had given my mom a bigger one, and she was saying, we was talking about the TV, and so happened my mom said something about, but you ain't that what God said? And then I heard her niece say, but it's spirit. Things are spirit and truth. And when she said that, oh man, I said, now see, if we would have been over here visiting you and you wouldn't have said that, I would have been okay. But you said that, now I'm going to have to tell you what really and why we are here. So I thank the Most High for setting that atmosphere, you know, and it allowed her, and she began. This is what she said. She said, uh, I told her about my YouTube page, and she said, "Oh," and she went got her phone. Wanted to. I said, "No, no, 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 no. Uh-uh. I had to talk to you about that. I have to talk to you about that." And I am before she leaves. She leaves out um the first, so I'm planning on getting over there and really sit down and talk with her before I give her my YouTube page. You see what I'm saying? Let me tell you why. I want her to understand first of all who she is. Okay, people who have been rooted in a certain place. And this is what she was explaining to me. She said, "But Booby, I haven't been under a church. I study, and the Spirit been teaching me." And she's what? She's probably a good, probably 70, but she looked good. She looked good. She had a glow about herself. So I'm gonna make sure before she leave that her and I, even if I have to take her out somewhere to eat and we just sit and we just talk, I want to be able to give her that. And then after then, I'm gonna on my YouTube page, then this can help you further. But yeah, she got to talking and my mother got to saying some things and I just had to bring it. I had to bring it out. I had to bring a lot of things out that has not been, and the reason why is because the Father says finish. He say, no matter what, except I have branded them for my name's sake. I have put my mark in their head. They are not of me. I don't care if it's who it is. Now, my mother could, my cousin could be. I don't know. But I tell you this, it ain't for me to be the one that just assume that they are. It is the will of my Father who makes that choice. You see? Now, when he said, "Stay in your lane," and this is why I said that woman, she was a very sick woman. She came on a page and she looked at the one where I always say, "Stay in my lane." You need to stay in your lane. Let me tell you the ignorance, it's in spirit and truth, of staying in your lane mean. Stay in your lane. Don't be in that lane next to you. It ain't worth it. Don't be in that lane next to you on this side. It ain't worth it. Stay in your lane. Your lane is a prophetess in the wilderness. You come to judge the whole house of Israel. Anytime I tell you to put it forth, you put it forth. So that's why the judgment went down on her and she did not like it. And like I told her, a higher is here for the sick. But baby, you've been sick a long time and you still sicker than sick. So you might as well go right back on top of that tree that you fell from because you sicker than the tree itself. Praise be y'all. And I mean deeply, y'all. I mean, if you knew what I was, if you hear what she said, you'll say, "I ain't never heard nobody being that sick." You'll say, "No, can't nobody be like, no, can't nobody be talking like that." Oh, yes. And I just so happened to hear it. And I said, "Wait a minute, hold up." I said, You are very sick. But the thing about it, in spirit and truth, her first thing she said, "Isn't the Most High come for those that are sick?" She can't say that. She can't say that. She got to say things that matches who she served, which is Satan. Because you all know that he came for the sick. You see, how did they get sick? They weren't sick at first. When they came down like this, they got sick because who's on the earth to deceive the whole world, and that's how they got sick. So Yeshua had to come back and be the medicine for them to come back to where they belong. See, but see, those are those who ain't coming back. They ain't even look, y'all. We on that hour running into that minute. We ain't got time. And do you know that's all I see people living life as if they got so much time to prove who they are. Oh, you don't know who I am because, and you know what? I learned also about men. There's no reason in them. There's no reason, none. I mean, even when he said in Isaiah, what's that? Isaiah 3, when he said this, it brings so much closure to this here. And I was like, but Father, seems like everything you didn't show me, it makes sense. It says in Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12, as for my people, children are their oppressors. Okay. And if you thinking your children are not your oppressor, you sick. Okay. Now, and the woman ruled over them. And then it said, "O my people, they which led thee caused thee to error and destroy the way of the path." That he's saying. He's saying that Israel, the men that led them, caused thee to error and destroy the way of the path. And as you read down, it tells you exactly. He breaks it down, informing you that these are men that have led other men in the way that is not of Yah. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm like saying, okay, okay, well, why is it all the way through Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and Isaiah is correcting the men in where they at today? He said, but they won't see it. That's why I'm out. He said, when you be trying to, I understand fully, 100% why he said it's over. He's not coming to make anything that's crooked straight. No, he ain't. That time, it's over. We in the hour, running up on the minutes. So he's not about to go backwards and pick up. Let me tell y'all something else that hurt my spirit real bad. There is a man that says he called himself a slash prophet. He's running around chasing history. Okay, watch this, y'all. Watch this. So he came up with a good topic, and I listened to him about an hour and 15 minutes, and it was really good until he got to the end. I said, Father, how is it someone can talk something, but at the end, he said, because the end tells the beginning. I said, you know what? I never thought of it like that. He said, yeah, it tells you the whole idea. He came like he came at the beginning to throw you off. And the end lets you know that it wasn't that the end was off, the beginning was off. But that's how he summed it up at the end. Now he's running around talking about how uh, uh, we as people have to understand we have to go to Pharaoh. They have to go to Pharaoh for the substance, meaning reparation, just as it was with the Exodus, the Exodus, Pharaoh and Moses. He say, so therefore another Moses have to come and go to Pharaoh. Now this is how he summed this thing up. I was like, now wait a minute, what, what, what? He started off so good. I mean, good with giving you what he had learned. But how do you lead it back to you? To give you the glory and the honor, to make you look like the God of righteous. And he looked at it like the God of hell. Because see, people don't understand who you entertaining. Like the woman I had to tell that she was very sick. You out here entertaining wicked and evil. And if you cross my page, I'm gonna let you know you're sick if you're sick. You're sick if you're sick. And putting that type of nonsense on YouTube to deceive people, to see evil to be good, and good is to be evil, sick. So this man, he was talking. Now listen to this, you guys. He was talking and said that the we need Moses to come to go to Pharaoh, okay, to tell him about the substance that they were released with. You know, they gave him some gold, some silver, some jewelry, but see, they missed the spiritual thing, y'all. Mm, mm, That's what I'm telling y'all. Everybody that teaches on this devil platform always miss spirit and truth. When you miss spirit and truth, you miss my Father will and purpose for things that he has done. And that's what the people are missing. Now listen to this. So he wants 100 men to join him to go to the Black Caucus, I think that's the name of it, the Black Caucus, with the charge of reparations and substance. Because he's saying in Deuteronomy, it says, and you shall leave with substance. Anybody in the live chat, I'm gonna go over it again, and then I'm gonna hear you tell me, do you see what's going on? He's saying that we have to go back. We have to get Moses to go back. In a sense, somebody have to come back, not from Moses, but we need a purpose, a person that represent like Moses to go to Pharaoh and say that they need to give them substance. They need to give them, in a sense, what we would call it reparations. And we need to start with the Black Caucus and then the UN, because we need to go and confront them about the substance and the which is the reparations, because it says in the Bible that we will go out of this land with substance. Let me hear from you all. I like to hear from someone in the live chat who've been hearing what I just said. Tell me, what do you think about that? He said they need to get 10 men to connect with him so they can go to the Black Caucus and confront the Black Caucus about reparations, which we call it reparations, but he's using the word substance that need to be given unto us, because what we're here and what I guess what we lost and what we need to be taken. So what do you all think about that? And I'm just going to kind of talk about that a little bit, because I'm just showing you how far righteous faith, belief, and fear, the brands of the Most High, for the Most High's sake, how different they see the things in which many has taken on in this day and time. That's one. That's a good point. That's still that point. We still they but see, that's that same number one point that nobody wants to look into. Nobody wants to see that we weren't cursed and they did not do something to us where we that they owed us anything. Just think, they owed us nothing. We would have to blame higher, because isn't he the one that cursed us? So that's a good one. That's a really good one. We no longer we are not due reparations if spelling it right. I mean, if you're right, if it's right, if you following the curse itself and really see the end game, you'll realize he did not call us to be in this situation to get ourselves out of it. You get what I'm saying? But I'm gonna dig deeper. Okay, reparation for what? How about reparation to Yah? Thank you. Praise the Most High Yah. How about reparations to Yah? Hallelujah. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? They don't think like that. See, they don't think like that. That's showing you the work. But this man says he's a prophet and a pastor. Been a pastor, I think, for 16 years. I'm like trying to get, what are these men mindset? That's it. But why should we get reparations for something that we done to the Father? You are so right. Now see how much sense that makes. That's right. We can't blame anyone else and collect on what the Father's will was. That's what they're doing. Just see, those are good points y'all talking about there. Not entitled. Thank you. Not entitled. Do you know that we're still not accepting the curse itself? But yet we feel we're accepted enough to say they done something to us, they need to pay us. That's the sad part about it. You ain't accept the curse, but you feel you need to be refunded something because you've been in the curse. I told you that's what they doing. Next year, oh y'all, I'm gonna give y'all this man so y'all can be up, y'all can hear him. People are really buckling up anything that he have said and his prophecies. That's very dangerous, y'all. They don't know that. It's very dangerous to buckle up against his prophecy. It is very dangerous. You don't owe us nothing. We are cursed. What is it they don't get? And you know what bothers me? And no, it don't too much bothers me, but it brings back to spirit and truth how it's always in righteousness. Because here these people wanting to portray that they are waking, but what they have awakened to is more darkness and stupidity. That's it. Me. You nailed it. Instead of being about y'all's business. Yep, they never been. In his marvelous will. That sounds good. In his marvelous will and purpose. I know that's right. Yep. But they don't want to accept it. That's where you know that people are living here today and how broad the narrow gate is and how hell bound people are. Now listen to this. He's been a pastor for, I think he said 16 years, but he called himself an apostle. I mean a prophet now. Okay? Now, he's trying to get 100 men to go to the Black Caucus to what is it? I would say to charge them that they owed us uh, uh, um, reparations in a sense. Because he said the Bible says, and we shall come out with substance. Guess what I did, you guys? I went to the altar of the Most High, higher. I had to, because when it gets to the point where I'm saying, like, Father, I don't know why you letting these people go this deep on you like this. I have to go to him. That's what I do, you all. I have always did that. I have to go when I have to go to him. It's on, y'all. It's on. I had to go to him on this. I'm like, wait a minute, Father. I don't know why you allow these men to go that deep into stupidity, wicked, and evil. I have no idea. So he took me. Guess what he took me to? He said, now you go. Go. He wanted me to understand that when Moses went to Pharaoh and the captivity there was nowhere the same as the captivity we are in today. They that was in captivity first, he revealed to me, Deborah, the captivity of those that was in Pharaoh was not under a curse. He said right there is a big difference. Second of all, I never sent Moses to Pharaoh to collect anything. I just sent Moses to set the captive free. That's it. And then he showed me in the scriptures, you guys, that the substance that they gave them was more so stuff that they could use. Now, watch this, y'all. Watch this. Stuff that they could use on their journey to eat and certain things that they can work with to cook as they on their journey. Some of them came out on their daughters and who else did they say? Where they gave them some gold and silver. What did they do with it? What did they do with it when they got to the promised land? I mean, got to the wilderness. They took all the gold and made a silver calf to build them a god, to worship them a god. So go back now. What was the purpose of those of Pharaoh and them giving them those substance? You get what I'm saying? So Father said, if you go back to Pharaoh's situation, you'll see that substance that they gave them was for their journey. It was not substance like reparations that we here at in this land of captivity are expecting the heathens to give us. You see? And then he went, this is what he said to me, y'all, that was really powerful. This is what he said that was really powerful. He said, Deborah, where did you hear Moses come to Pharaoh and tell him what this black man is saying? They need to go to the Black Caucus first and charge them with giving them reparations and substance. He said, did you hear me tell Moses that? You will not hear that out of Moses' mouth, telling Pharaoh, you're going to give them this, 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 this. The Most High said, give them this, this, this. No. Them is what Ahiah had put on the people's heart to give them for their journey. Even the gold and silver, when Ahiah knew they weren't going to make themselves nothing but a god. But that was Ahiah doing this. Why is it our men still want to put Ahiah down so low so they can rise so high? And nobody's saying a word about it. Nobody. You know what's so bad about it? You all, I'm going to tell y'all something before I get off here. And I know it's off the chain, but I'm going to tell you anyway. You see that? You see the minds of the tribe of Judah. How are you going to get 100 men because you're going to deceive 100 men? The weakest of the weakest men on the face of the earth that'll do anything. If you know why they'll do anything? Anytime you cross out the Creator, you will do anything. Any nasty thing. Anytime you can cross out the Creator of the world. And it is known, it is said that that's what we have done. You didn't hear him saying the things to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and calling them like he calling us. You didn't see them go under a curse. The last one that was under Pharaoh wasn't under a curse, y'all. We're under a curse. That's different. That's totally different. They can't even see the captivity is totally different. They can't even see that. The house of Israel and Pharaoh, when they came out. It says we're going in captivity, curse, and we coming out captivity, curse. Total different. When is he going to get you doing, tribe of Judah, you Negroes, to go try to go up against the world telling them they owe you something? That's the war, y'all. Nation against nations. This is when they're going to start going after these men. That's why Isaiah 3:25 said, and they shall die by the sword, and the mighty men as well, because they're going after something, trying to role play their way in profaning y'all's ways, his curse, the way they have fed a lot of these Negro men to believe. They have deceived with Satan so many hearts of these men till it is off the chain. But it's lining up. It's lining up with Ahiah said, they shall die by the sword. Even the mighty ones. The mighty ones are those who think they big and bad. We got enough guns. We got enough weapons. We built for it. Okay, baby, you're going down first. And he have already prophesied to the women, your men, your sons, your father, your grandfather, your husband, they shall die by the sword. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24 and 25. And he called them thy men. So he was telling it to the women. That's why in Isaiah 4, there's going to be one man to 7 women. Just calling you, showing you what holy going to bring about. That one man is going to be looked at as holy because he's going to survive what those other men couldn't survive. So they're going to go somewhere telling somebody they owe them something. You know what? I'm going to tell y'all something. They are, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, they are doing some wicked, heavily level wickedness off the chain. Those coffins that Obama ordered, millions of those coffins, let me tell you something. They already got them prepared. They're going to kill you all. They're going to kill you all. And you all walking around here feeding into these nappy-headed men and their ways and the way they teaching this book, trying to make somebody walk up and down it the way they see fit. Don't understand, man has had his mouth in this book since the beginning to the end, so we can erase his mouth, find the spirit and truth in it. Find what proceed out of the mouth of Yah, and you'll be okay. These men ain't gonna teach what proceed out of the mouth of Yah. The word of truth, spirit and truth. They ain't gonna teach that out of here. Because they can't trap the men. They can't trap the families and the women out of here like that. They can only trap them with a lie. And that's what they're doing. But let me tell y'all something. They are, oh, but it's prophesied. They are actually, these tribe of Judah has cursed the curse. At least they think they have. They going down according to the prophecy. So it don't matter. They so ignorant, they don't even know that. And the thing about it is, it's going to be before them. That's what Matthew 24 said, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Right here today, they don't even see that coming. They so busy trying to lead men to hate on women and to be whoremongers and lust and get the desire and be submissive. Who want to be submissive to anybody in this day and time? Spirit. They don't even understand, for you to be submissive, a woman to be submissive, anybody to be submissive to anybody, it has to be the flesh. Because if you get past the flesh and get that spirit to submit, oh yeah, you got Satan on your side, because they're gonna cut up and show up in due season. Because you cannot, you have to submit to Yah to lead anybody. And they have to submit to the Yah that you have submit to as well, and then submit to you. But see, they don't, they got it backwards. And the higher is allowing them to. Because you know why he's allowing it? It's walking his word out. I believe that too. You know what? I really believe they never had. I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of them haven't. You are so right, and that's another part of it. Is they all don't want to get out to work, don't want to provide even for their own self. So you're looking for 100 men, and I'm gonna show you how that's messed up, y'all. You're looking for 100 men to travel, and you're looking, once you get that 100, you get enough people to donate y'all money. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it, because how you gonna let them? He's gonna let them do it. And those are going to be the ones that's going to have a hard time on their way. But they're going to try it, because they're going to use people on these platforms to get funds like they're doing, to give them an opportunity to go confront the Black Caucus. And then I think it's the UN. They're going after the UN. Watch and see if y'all be with you. Ain't that's what Deborah told that other king? And that other king said, I ain't going unless you go. See, they don't understand. You still gonna have to come out the order of the most higher. And Sister Deborah is telling you right here today, he ain't with you. So take your tail on. And I'm gonna tell you somebody else who did that. And one thing I do have a little respect for him about, he's trying to clean it up. Farrakhan, he is trying to, y'all, he ain't there, but he's trying to clean it up. He a long ways from home, but he's trying to clean it up. So, but Farrakhan, remember he did the million men, the Million Men March. Do you know what kind of contract you would have to sign to that state that you're bringing in 1 million men? That means you telling hotels, restaurants, every place, y'all, we finna make y'all a lot of money. That's what he signed to. Farrakhan did that. He signed a contract to show them he can get 1 million men to make money for their city. That's what he did. That's what he did. Women were working and men never worked a day in their life, and they still sent them plane tickets, bus tickets, all kind of ways, rent a car, train tickets, to get them 1 million man march. To march on what? And what was the purpose? And what was supposed to come out of it? Nothing but make the white man rich. Now you see the minds of these black men. All you did is made that state probably $10 million richer. And you signed a contract just to do it. And them doing Negroes didn't even know that's what you were doing, because they didn't have sense. They was chasing the name of Pharaoh. Farrakhan. Not righteous, not just, but chasing a man's mouth. And they chased it till he was able to fulfill that state wealth, at least $10 million. That's sad, ain't it? And the women, they talked about what all they went through. If you ever can travel and talk to women that dealt with that Million Man March, and how everybody was trying to get these men to go, and the only way they could get it if they put out the money for them, because most of the men didn't have a dime. They didn't have nothing. Farrakhan wasn't offering them a free round trip ticket. These were who these work families, these working women that made sure these men, and when they got back, y'all should have heard the stories. Said these men came back beating their wives, still not working, trying to, do things that they should not been doing. And they were saying, well, what was the purpose of it? So he can make them snakes money. And he wanted to prove to them that we can make you all 10 million with 1 million men coming to your state. Did y'all know that? That was about money making, to prove to the white man that I can call a Million Man March and y'all all gonna get wealthy. And we're gonna send their butts back home with nothing. And meaning with nothing, nothing in their spiritual, nothing in their minds. Just send them. Negro men don't have the mind to do what is righteous. They don't have the heart to do what is righteous. And then you say, Sister Deborah, why are you saying about the men? Because let me tell you something. Just as he created man before he created woman, even though he spoke to both, he sent a sign. I'm just going to always speak to them first. And we running around here thinking that, the way the world is because of the women and all the things that they say. No, how you say it's going to always be the man. And it's going to end with the man. He said, go back to his word and see who he say that's going to lose their lives in Revelation. He said, go all up in Revelation. Who I'm talking to. See who I'm talking to. Hear my word. Always them. And they the only one that don't listen. And that's why they have a problem with women, because they would listen before they would. That's why when you seen the churches and women going to church and give them something to do, you wasn't doing nothing. Something to hope for. So what, they went to a Catholic church, a Christian church. At least they was trying to hope for something. But you ain't hoping for nothing like you doing today. So you see them sitting around talking about this. We need 100 men to go to the Black Caucus. You better sit your tail down. Any substance that is mentioned, it's mentioned because Ahia prophesied it. And him prophesying ain't meaning you going to come up with it. You going to show the world how to bring it forth. He ain't called you to do nothing but be in the curse. And even when he said, coming in curse, that's another thing I noticed nobody have any respect for. And you know what else I'm telling you I felt good about this man talking? He said, where we are at, y'all, said the same thing I said. It's over. And when I heard that, I'm telling y'all, God was just really doing something with me this morning. Let me just hear this man. It's like at 12 o'clock. I was like, and it's like he came in during my study time in this word, trying to understand why and how did we get so far away from the word that proceed out of his mouth to the words that proceed out of these men's mouth in this book. There's no life in the mouth out of the man. There's no life in that. Never was and never will be. They just did it and got people believing it, and they can go on to believe it. You all, it's just so much going on. They got a time. They already announced, and that's why I say it's sad how people pick up stories and try to get subscribers and likes and not see the truth of the matter behind situation, the spirit and truth behind what you're putting on your page. They don't even care. All they about is subscribers and likes. I'm gonna put this on there because somebody else talked about it. Somebody talked about this. I'm gonna put this on here like I'm the news reporter. But then run around here pretending I'm worshiping the Most High or higher. He sees what you're doing. He know you only doing stuff for your likes and your subscribers. So get your likes and subscribers on the earth, because heaven ain't got nothing for you. Okay. He was talking about let me get it out of here. Now listen to this, you guys. In Deuteronomy 28, it says, cursed shall thou be in the city. Cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall thou be thy basket, and curse thy store. And didn't I tell y'all? See, Sister Deborah be trying to tell you all, but I know you all don't really get it. Sister Deborah can't step out the realm of the curse. You get what I'm saying? I can't think that, hey, I'm going to step out and I'm going to get rich and I'm going to have this. Listen to what it says. Listen to this. It says, curse shall thy basket, and curse thy store. You see what I'm saying? So I would even look at even why I'm wondering, trying to figure out why this store don't make anything. It's not there. And I'm going to be honest, I have cried out and asked the Father when, I understand it in the fullness. I fully understand it. So is it okay now that I understand it all and you have given it to me as clear as clear? Can I get something? And you know what? I still think it's going to be still going to ride through his will. No matter what I ask, I still think it's going to ride. The suffering is there. The struggle is real, especially to his elects. It's real. We got to see this thing in which was prophesied. We got to live this thing which is prophesied. So therefore, he ain't going to up off of us, to make it right. That's like I'm saying about these men. Oh, we're going to clear this up. We're going to get us substance and reparation. With 100, you just want 100 people. You want people to send y'all hundreds of dollars to send y'all tails to do nothing. If you ain't done nothing while you in your state today, why are you going somewhere else telling somebody that they need to give you anything? You ain't done right with what you got. Talking about you built this country. If you built it, why you can't even clean up your own backyard? Can't even take out the door and trash. Can't cut grass. Can't clean your community. Can't clean your city up. Your state. You can't do nothing, but you built this world. Come on now. Come on. Something wrong. If you build it, what happened to your ability to build your yard up? Now listen to this. It says, Deuteronomy 28. Cursed shall thou be, verse 18. Cursed shall thou be the fruit of thy body. Curse the fruit of thy land, and increase of thy kin, and the flock of thy sheep. Now listen to this. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. Verse 20. And a higher shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, rebuke, in all that thou settest thy hands unto for to do, until thou be destroyed. Now, curse coming in and curse going out. If you go to them and they really believe that I'm gonna tell you something a lot of people haven't really paid any attention to. The more we buckle up against the curse, the more we go after them because of the curse. Y'all notice we get done away with? Y'all ain't even noticed that. Yes, it is. The more they step pressure onto us as a people. It is not prophesied that we're going to clear this curse up right here and now. So I can't explain to you what these men mindset. We're going to get this thing right. We're going to straighten this thing up. Any substance we're going to leave out would be what the anointing of the Father suffered to be given unto us. And you best bet it ain't going to be what you think. So you can build another calf. It ain't going to be like that. It's not the same Exodus as Pharaoh, even though it's considered captivity, but it's a captivity that they were in, but it wasn't a curse. See, not only are we cursed, we in captivity with this curse. Not only is it captivity, it is cursed. They weren't cursed. They were in captivity. See, they don't put the two together and see that it's totally different. Totally. When we show y'all something else they ain't paid attention to, you guys, we ain't going to the wilderness as far as they stayed in the wilderness And then he separate them there and those that went to the promised land. We ain't going to the wilderness to be separated to go to the promised land. We're going to die on our way because we still cursed. When we go out, we still going to be cursed. So we're going to be still cutting up from the floor up, all the way there. And that's what's going to separate the wheat from the now I ain't gonna say the wheat from the tare because that's for eternal, but it's going to separate those that are the small remnant for those who came out with them. You see, and those that's a small remnant is going to make it to the promised land, and the other one going to die out. Ahijah is not going to let them make it. Just like the promised land, they all got there and they murmured, they complained. You see everything they did? But we're going to be traveling to the promised land. And once we get there, we there. They didn't go to the promised land, remember? They stayed in the wilderness and died out there. You get what I'm saying? Then the children end up going, what? They stayed to 40 years. You get what I'm saying? So they don't think because they gone to put these pieces together to see, wait a minute, this don't match the same thing. It doesn't, you guys. Just go back into it and do your, it don't match. It has some things like unto it. You don't hear, where is Ahijah going to tell, send someone? When did he say in Deuteronomy 8 he going to send someone? When did he say it in Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and Isaiah that I'm going to send my servant, the elect, to go and tell Babylon to let my people go? When did he say that? Like he sent Moses and Aaron. When is he going to send them here? Where is it at? And where did he say that? See how you see, y'all see what I'm saying? This is what he's saying. We don't look into these matters. We don't search the scriptures to see that a lot of this stuff is just mumbo jumbo that man have breathed into everybody's mindset, and they not rightly dividing the word of truth in the right order. They just taking it from what out of the mouth of man, and everything in this book out of the mouth of man, and ain't hearing nothing that proceed out of the mouth of Yah. Nothing. Because they're letting what the words out of the mouth of man override the words that proceed out of the mouth of Yah. And they call Ahijah wrong and they right. They gonna make things crooked straight. And that's where I think this other prophetess, she was talking about how they don't understand, they starting their own war. And I believe that without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I always knew that. They starting their own, and they don't even they too ignorant to know that. Because they what a lot of them are doing, and even the prophetess and a lot of others, prophets and Maureen and seer, they all buckling up. Now, this is what I see as a prophetess in the wilderness. A lot of the Maureens, the seers, and the watchmen has buckled all up. They have buckled all up because they started off witnessing and teaching and giving the people what little they have. Now they don't want no part of it. They're all buckling it up, standing down so lowly, all the way down, because Josh would Hebrew Building Nation or something like that. Both of those guys then buckled all the way down. Josh used to be a real good teacher. He ain't nothing no more. I mean, he won't teach. He won't say nothing. He'll let them dance in the darkness and chat and all that wicked mess for 2 and 3 hours, y'all. I'm serious. They doing a lot of that in 2 or 3 hours, and they don't even understand, baby, that's not worshiping the Most High, Ahijah. I'm a living witness. I'm an interpreter of tongues, and you best bet ain't nothing they say in anointed. And if it ain't anointed, it ain't appointed. And if it ain't appointed, shut your ugly mouth and stop hollering and chatting wickedness. If nobody's not in the midst of you all to be able to interpret what is being said, you need to have them to shut their mouths. And I don't know where people get off, these Maureens and these watchmen, these seers, getting off, letting people sit and dance and chat and say all this thing, and nobody can interpret what they saying. You can be serving the devil in your dance. You can't go around doing that, but they don't care. They rather do something to cover up who they are. Just showing you in the end days how the great falling away and those that have already fallen away. You see, they leading these people straight down a rabbit hole that has no end to it. And the people all, oh yeah, I want to go. And don't even see no spirit and truth. And the reason why they can't see it is because Ahia ain't gave it to them. They don't have what it takes. For it is written. It is written. That is already in his. So my thing was it. I was like, okay, hold up. What are you sending the angels down there to tell the other angels, mark yours in the forehead before they do anything to the? Because he wanted to let the angels know. Mine's, whatever you do, you better not mine. You better mark them so you'll know. You better mark them. So he gave them the ability to know who's who so that they can mark them. So whatever you do on the earth, you better not hurt mine. You better not hurt those that's marked. So that's something else that's going to come. A lot of things that's going to be happening to a lot of everybody. I mean, y'all, it's going to be so many. Oh, and I say, oh, Father, I say, I'm sitting here looking at, and this one man was teaching. Oh, he was teaching it too. He was talking about how the four, Revelation 6 and the four horses. I already know that the four horses been released. But what happens is all these other things got to be released, and nobody's paying any attention. A higher release it from heaven to let it go into the wicked and evil way, the way they're going to conduct it on the earth. See, but heavens have to release it. So he's sitting here in Revelation tell you how he releasing all this stuff, and everybody's sitting around here playing, we the people, we the true Jews. But what are you doing to make you somebody? Killing each other, robbing each other, stealing from each other, killing your women who bring forth your nation, killing your mothers and your fathers, killing your brothers. I mean, what are we doing? No unity, none whatsoever, y'all. But then you're going to go to the Black Caucus and march. You need 100 men to march down on that. But no, you can't get 100 men to unite and do what's right in each state according to the Father. You can't do that. You see, do y'all get what I'm saying? Do you see the mindset of those that he said they're going to be destroyed? Their mindset is so messed up. You can get 100 men to come together to go try to tell them they better give you something, but you can't get 100 men to come up and teach these men how to do what's righteous. You tell me that ain't deep. You see what I'm saying? Yo, you can't unite for nothing else. But now you thinking you gonna be Moses going to Pharaoh. You go. I'm a prophetess in the wilderness telling you, you gonna meet your match. Go right ahead. You see, go. Everybody want to run, call themselves overpowering Ahiah's prophecy in his word. Go. I would love to see you go. Go. And they are, because they have always went up against Ahiah. That's why he called them stiff necks, rebellion, and disobedient. Don't you ever think he's talking to these women. I know they'll tell you they're talking to you. He's talking to the men because he still know who he put first. We just too ignorant to know that. A lot of things he's still talking to the one he put first. Just because they gonna put you up there and say it's you, don't mean that that's what he said. He said, I know where I put them. I know who I brought forth first. I know who I put head first. I know what I did. See, they so busy trying to teach people what thou said out of the mouth of man. They can't teach you what I said out of my word. They don't want to abide by that. But they can teach you this book, what proceed out of the mouth of man, but won't come near what proceeds out of my mouth. And that's why they can't follow it. They can't follow it. When I told my mom and my cousin about Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2, they was just shocked. They were shocked. I said, because if you read Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2, that's when it was perfect. So we can consider that out of the mouth of Yah. Out of the mouth of Yah. You see, we can consider that. But when it came to 3, 4, and 5, sin had already hit. Anything go. Men, women, men, everything. Anything can go. That's how it got so bad in Genesis 6, you guys. Y'all didn't get it, did you? That's how it gotten so bad in Genesis 6. It had to have come at a time period where things weren't perfect. And any time after then was sin. And that's how it got so bad that quick. Here we are in Genesis 6. 6 and he read it in what it started. So that's just showing you how quickly it turned that way. And guess who it was? It never was woman. It was man. It's still, because woman didn't have any rights. They didn't let her do anything outside of clean and bring forth children and be on her back. That's it. That's it. So therefore, who got them to the point where he decided to end the world? He know what he was doing. He know what was going on. It's just that us, we still got man trying to cancel out his prophecy and make him wrong so they can be right. Why you say that, Deborah? Because even when I look at, it's all the way through Isaac, Hebrew, Isaac, Ezekiel, Jeremiah. The reason why is because when I look at, let me show y'all something. When I look at Romans chapter 1, now listen to this. In Romans chapter 1, that's why Sister Deborah says this here. Now in Romans chapter 1, it was saying, oh, I'm in the wrong place. In Romans chapter 1. Now I want to just let y'all hear this here. Just this is something that is good to hear. Verse 16, Romans chapter 1, verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. That's Paul. Paul said, I am not ashamed of the gospel of the power. As you go into the New Testament, many times you'll hear them say, when you deny Christ, when you deny Christ, when you deny Christ, what is Christ? Christ is, in Genesis, let me show you where Christ is at. Christ is the one where Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And Ahiah said, let us. That's who Christ is. And that's why it's a mystery. And it tells you in the New Testament, it's a mystery. Christ is a mystery that's going to be revealed. Because see, they don't know who Christ really is. See, they run their mouths because Ahiah hasn't given them the spirit and truth of the whole matter. So they just talk to deceive you that they know something that they do not, because they don't know things in spirit and truth. That means they lost. Okay. Now, when you get to Romans chapter 16, Paul is explaining that. I mean, he's actually saying that, Deborah, I know who Christ is. Watch this here. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. Where's Yeshua HaMashiach? Where's Jesus Christ? Where's Jesus' name at? Where's Yeshua name at? He said, I'm not ashamed of the power. For it is the what? Do y'all see what that says? What does that say? See? So he's saying if they missed it in Genesis, that us was the right hand of the Father, which is Christ, his power. Look at where it's saying it. Romans chapter 6, Romans chapter 1. Okay. Oh, she got it down already. Romans chapter 1, verse 16. I am not ashamed of the gospel of the power, for it is the power of Ahiah until salvation to everyone that what? Everyone that what? Believe. The power was only ushered with Yeshua. For those who what? Been branded with belief. See, y'all still don't get it. You see? See? So that's how these men can deceive the people with the book, because they don't know the spiritual mystery. The keys that Peter received. They don't know nothing about that. When he tells the multitude, I give them parables, but I give you the keys to the kingdom, the word of Yah. Now, go back to 16, write that down on something so you can be able to stress how Christ has always been the right hand of the Father. He is the power that was present at the beginning when Ahiah said, let, he brought it forward with the right hand. That's why he said, let us now create man. Let us do something a little bit different here. Now we're going to create man like us, like our likeness. He was talking to his own right hand. You see? Now watch this here. In verse 16, I am not ashamed of the gospel of that power, for it is the power of Ahiah until salvation to everyone that what? Branded with belief. To the Jews first, and also to the Greeks. They branded you guys. Watch this here, verse 17. For therein is all righteousness. Y'all, come on, see that. See that in your Bible. Now, there it is in verse 17. For therein is the righteousness of Ahiah. Going back to what? Belief and righteousness. Now, how do they get these here? They are already branded for his name's sake when they got down here. Okay, now watch this here. Romans chapter 1, verse 17. For therein is the righteousness of Ahiah revealed from what? Y'all don't get it, do you? Do y'all see it? Faith. Now we coming up on faith. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. See that? There you go. See? Y'all, this thing is not something somebody can take from you and give to you and show you and put it in you, take it out of you. This is something Ahiah already orchestrated before the foundation of the world. And can't nobody pluck you out of his hand because you're branded. You see what I'm saying? Now, when you see 17, it tells you that. Now, we're sitting here reading Romans chapter 1, and already it revealed that the Christ, which is Hamashiach, is the power of Ahiah. That's his right hand, okay? That told Yeshua, sit here on the right hand till I make your enemy your footstool. Make the earth your footstool. You see what I'm saying? That was with the on my right hand. I'm going to do this. You see? But you sit here and let me do this, okay? That's his power. Now, listen to here in 17. And therein is righteousness of Ahiah revealed from faith to faith. Here it is. Righteousness, faith. Now watch this here. Verse 18. Now right there in that one verse, it snatched faith. First one snatched belief. 16 snatched belief. And 17 snatched faith and faith and righteous. Let's see what 18 is saying. For the wrath, now we're coming up on the wrath of Ahiah is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of. Do you see what that says? Now, if it meant men and women, it would have had M-A-N. It got M-E-N. They still talking about men, huh? Unrighteous. Who holds the truth in unrighteousness. See, it ain't like they don't know the truth, but they hold it in unrighteous because they have not been branded with righteousness. That's why they're teaching these men. And they're using this book to do it, to deceive the people. Now watch this here. Verse 19. Because that which may be known of Ahiah is manifested in them. Well, what do you mean that which may be known of you? Because he gave you his breath and he gave you his image. So you know that I exist. You know that I'm present. I gave you my breath and I gave you my image. So it's in verse 19, because that which may be known of Ahiah is manifested in them. For Ahiah has shown it unto them, his breath and his spirit, okay, which is his image. Every man and woman has his image. We are a spirit. He is a spirit. He gave us an image like unto him. Now watch this. Verse 20. For the visible things of him from the creation of the world, we see. What did he get Adam? The breath of life. And he gave him his image. And he became a living spirit. Okay, now watch this here. Being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power. Hold up, Father, y'all. Hold up, Father, y'all. Wait a minute. What do you mean here? Verse 20, Romans chapter 1, verse 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation, letting you know, you see everything created, even how he created Adam, breath of life, and an image was his spirit. Okay? Now watch this here. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, Deborah. It's clearly seen. Okay? Being understood by the things that are made. Everything I told you. Look at the oceans, the river, the fishes, the fowls, the land. Look at human. You understand that. Okay? Being things that are made, even the eternal power and Godhead. The power and the Godhead. The power is his right hand. That's us. And the Godhead is a higher. It was his power and the Godhead. You see? It says right here. What does it say? Even the eternal power, which is his right hand, that's us, and the Godhead. A higher, a higher. Now watch this here. So that they are without excuse. Where we at in our understanding is where we need to be. Because he is finished. He ain't coming back to try to make you understand nothing. Because what you took on and deceived showed you who you serve. So in the year 2023, if you deceive the multitude to go in the area of the flesh of you and live by the flesh of your messages, by the flesh of your wisdom, the flesh of your knowledge, and the flesh of your understanding, salute them and stay in the race. Because don't look to your left and your right. Stay in the lane, and your lane also is where you called in him. If Ahia tell you he called you to be a pastor or a bishop or a prophetess or a, 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 um, a witness or whatever, laying hands, everything, stay in your lane in which you were called. You go any other these other lanes to deceive others to go in, then you're wrong. Stay in your lane. Do the will that Ahia has birthed you in. So anybody have any question? Anybody have any questions? What do we have? Mm-hmm. Yep, that belief is something. Increase that spirit and truth. All right. They can't see the release of viral. Oh no, they don't. And they ain't going to. And it's and but what Ahia's saying is still stay on in the lane. Keep talking. You see? So even you all keep speaking spirit and truth. Keep talking. That's like staying in your lane, you know, because you're trying to finish at the finish line, you know. So you want to finish. All you want to do is you see him, you see Ahia, keep running toward him. That's it. And know that he is who he said he is and stick with that. Because I'm telling you, I'm sitting here and I'll be like, okay. And the more and more he's giving me more relax and giving me more to accept, because he brought to me, he said, you remember those castics that Obama had made? He said, there it is. And I was like, sure is. It's made out of like a hard plastic. And they made so many. Y'all didn't see them when Obama ordered them. Did anyone ever see them? Although I did. That's why I know, and I couldn't figure out what they for. Why would you order those? So you see how he already connected with the plan. You see how he's connected in there, y'all. Ain't that scary? How he's in there. He's connected in there. That's scary. It's scary because it's actually showing you that he's have some connection. Why are you ordering this when you was in office? And this ain't got nothing to do with you. Why are you ordering? Because they already got it planned. And then now they don't care. They let everybody see it and open. You see that they have already let you all know that this is really a lot of people thinking it's going to be in 2025. I believe next year is going to be the start of it. They're going to put out something. And let me tell y'all something. When I hear people cover over in Africa and they talk about They gave Africa reparations, and they gave, that's ignorant people, you all. Those are people who keep running, getting stories to place on their book so that they can confound others and cause others to come to their page to read what they got to say. And I suggest people not do that, because you are deceiving people. You need to get spirit and truth of the matter. See, because a lot of y'all, let me tell y'all this here. They gave those, was it billions of dollars to Africa, because Africa leaders has decided to start. Mm, 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 mm. Africa decided that they would take on leading this next virus. It's going to take more than half, I think, people out. Mhm. So they paid them 55 billion. And see, you got other ignorant people talking about they gave them reparations. Stupid, foolish people. They don't go search the story to find out, when why would you give them 55 billion? They gave that to them because Africa agreed on the four corners, which we know is round, of the UN, to let them start that sickness, that virus over there. African always was known for that. That's why I say that these Negro men and women over here is just as ignorant, always talking about Africa. Africa has always been known to be paid off to kill their people. Always been known for that. And I'm gonna tell you, because I was a little girl looking at it, couldn't understand why was these babies like this here. Why was they doing that there? Why was they letting them doctors come there and shoot them and get them all these things, and these kids was dying from it? I couldn't understand. African always did that. Always was a people that sold their people out like that. So they gave them that money to do that. So when y'all hear of the next one coming out, you'll know you'll see it. It's coming straight out of Africa. Africa was paid to let it start there. And that's where it's going to start. And it's going to wrap all the way out. But that's who they want to get rid of, a lot of them there first. And that's their whole plan. And it's about getting rid of the population. And they have to hurry up and do just that. And it's not so much as a hurry up. All you do is stick with Revelation and watch a higher release. The death toll. He constantly telling us the death toll is going to be 25,000, 70,000. He constantly telling us. We ain't hearing it because we think it's the way a man said it is. And then you going over there telling somebody that they're going to give you reparations. And wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You can unite for something like that because you think you're getting something. Just like that Kate, Kyrie, and Kate, whatever. They thought that the Jewish people was going to flip and end up giving them something. That's why all them black men jumped on that. And right today, that same black man is talking about going over there to take 100 men. He was partaking in it. He was one of the number one I saw, all for Kyrie, and they going back to the bombing. You see what I'm saying? See, this is it, y'all. And that's why I say men has all the way you see this world today. It ain't got a thing to do with a female. This is a man's world who have caused it to be the way that it is, and they will never see it the way they have designed it and have allowed it to go. They would never see it. Even the Europeans, the heathens or Gentiles, they would never see it. Yeah. They. I think they would own up to it. They would own up to it that they're men because they rulers. They rulers. They're wicked and evil. Yep, they rulers, and that's the same way with our people, our men. They don't rule anything. We don't rule anything. We just have to be responsible for everything they ain't been responsible for. So, and that's spirit and truth there of the whole matter. If you really look into it and you see it for what it is. But I will say, anybody have any questions, or maybe even have answers to questions or anything? Uh, I'm gonna make sure. Okay, y'all. Let me give y'all the name of this guy. I don't want to leave without giving you his name, and I want to put it to where I can. And and he's not a name. Let me give you one. And what I, if you like to, you could just listen to him, and And uh you, if you don't understand something he said and you don't agree, then write it down and we can talk about it. Okay, here it is. Here, can someone put it in the live chat for me? Oh, I guess I could have, huh? I guess I could have did that. I just, you all, my computer been out and I didn't know how to work it. And my son said, Mom, all you had to do is stick this in. And my son said, Mom, all you have to do is stick this in here and plug it up. I said, you mean I haven't been with my computer, my laptop, all, oh, it's disconnected. The devil is a liar as usual. I'm gonna lay down and that's gonna be my treat tonight. I'm gonna listen to at least 3 or 4 of them before I go to bed. And he don't have real long messages, but it's so much anointed in it. Uh that man know he know he nailed this. He know he nailed that. He got one on there that says, this is what will happen in 2023. That's one of them. And he got uh you will access revelation from the Bible if you stand. And I like that one too because it's like telling you the way that they're not teaching you all. It's showing you how if you stand, and he gonna tell you how you gonna stand, and it's gonna be in spirit and truth. He's gonna tell you in the light. He's gonna break it down to you. When your own name mentioned in heaven, you will this. Oh, the connection is almost like they can be controlled. The connection look like it can always be controlled. I hate that. Now listen to this. It says, when your name mentioned in heaven, you will see the sign physical. What is he saying that Sister Deborah have said? And he said in one day. He teaches this topic. And it's not a long message. He said, when your name mentioned in heaven, you will see this sign physical in one day. What did Sister Deborah tell you? Look at it, seek, even look in the mirror. Say to yourself, am I on the most high side? You should know. Didn't I tell you? You should know. If you ask and if you really seek within, I said no by 2023. Didn't I say that? No, because Ahia had already told me, Deborah, they should know. So he's saying the same thing. Same thing, but he's saying it in a deeper spiritual message than I said it. I told you all by 2023, you should know. You should know. Why would he mark your head and you not know? You see? Your forehead and you not know. You see that it's crazy. Oh, you did? But yes, I'm telling you something. It's gonna be a treat for me tonight because I'm gonna listen to at least 3 of them. Even the one I've already listened to, I'm gonna listen to it again because when my spirit inside is bubbly and feel like so much energy, I know what it is. It's the Ruach Hakodesh. It's in me, hearing this man and the things that he's saying because we both coming from heaven with the message. So we're not coming from flesh to flesh. We're coming from spirit to spirit, the spirit that reside in him, and the spirit that reside in me, which is the ruach. So I'm feeling this thing. I'm like, wait a minute, baby, I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you. I feel it, and it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing. So when he said, one of his message says, when your name mentioned in the heavens, you will see this sign physical in one day. And that's why I was saying when I said, y'all, look at yourself and say to yourself, Whose side am I on? Am I marked? Don't think that the Father won't let you know, because He will. He will. Just don't get caught up in this world. Don't get caught up in Sister Deborah. Don't get caught up in all these positions. Don't get caught up in men. Don't get caught up in what we saying if we're not leading y'all strictly to the bosom of my Father, which is the Creator. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, don't forsake Yeshua HaMashiach, the mission that come to get you, to bring you back to His bosom. That's the mission. Yeshua couldn't have done it by himself, but He had to be the blood sacrifice, and the power came with Him. So the power say, I'm still with Him, because I got to issue His blood on your doorpost with the power of the Father. And then the Father can enter in. So it's a way that the Father has orchestrated this thing. And we have to stick firm in Him. Don't let nobody mislead you. Nobody. Feel Him in you, leading you and guiding you. Because then that way you'll start to see everything as it unfolds. You'll start to see His word unfolding, being like, hey, you'll start to see everything that's actually taking place. And when somebody's sitting on this devil platform saying something that's not right, don't hesitate to get on there and shoot them down. Tell them to stand down. That's what you need. That's all you need to say. That's all you need to say. You need to stand down. You're going to either stand down or you're going to lay down. Either way it go, if you're going to lay down, it's already predestined for you to lay down, but you need to stand down. Because if you ain't speaking spirit and truth, get your tail off this devil platform. I know it's owned by the devil and you one of his ace. That's why they on here hooping and hollering and saying anything. Don't care what they said to the people, how they deceiving them, and want to ride the fence, want to play holy than thou on one side, dress like holy than thou, speak and talk like holy than thou. Then on the other end, 70%, 75%, they on the world, making sure you get the lowdown from the world, and the world ain't telling you nothing but a bunch of lies. But you know what? The world is wanting to tell is trying to tell you more truth than the people on these devil platforms. Isn't that sad? The world is willing to tell you more truth than the people on this darn platform. On these people on this darn platform. So do anybody have any questions? Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Let me give you another one. Let me give you another one that he talked about. This is the one I really got to see. He said, the name of this one is, it doesn't matter the sin. I told y'all. Bam! Woo, Father, yeah. Woo, that's deep. That's deep. This man was teaching one of his lessons. It doesn't matter the sin. If you will do this, a higher will use you mightily. You see? You look at the word use you mightily. Then you go back up. It don't matter the sin. A higher will use you mightily. That's why David got away with all he did. That's why Jacob got away with doing all the things that he did. But their kids didn't get away with it. No, they didn't. The consequences always fell on the wives and the children. Always did. Always did. What? But they was the monarchy. That sounded like somebody was. That might have been my dog. But yeah. So he sure did. So he came down like bam. They came this way. And you know what? This here helped me a great deal too. Even though I don't look at the things that they have done and apply it to myself, but I have sinned. I have sinned. And I just thank the Father from having a Savior before the foundation of the world. Okay? Because he knew he sent me here. I didn't send myself. He knew he predestined me. I didn't predestine myself. He knew he foreknew me before I didn't know myself. You see? He ordained me. I didn't ordain myself. He purposed me. I didn't purpose myself. So it had to come from somewhere. You see? So I just thank the Most High higher for having heathens uh, 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 created before the foundation of the world to return back into his bosom as they left, like unto the way that they left, they will and they shall return. Praise the mighty. Praise the Most High. Yeah, I am. That's gonna be my treat. And that's what is actually happening. Is they and I'm trying to find out what make them feel that they going to override his curse. Now, I will say this here. I'm gonna tell you something. When I heard that man, I'm telling you, I went through little parts of his video. He was talking about how mm, y'all don't get discouraged. Just hear him. He's telling truth, y'all. He's telling the truth. He is telling the truth. And I don't like how he don't have a clear picture. But it don't matter. It's what he's saying. He was talking about how, like I was telling y'all, next year, just listen to him. And I just found this man at 12:30 today for the first time. And just to hear that he covered so many of my videos in one of his message, it just blow my mind. And I just thank the Father that he's showing me that, see, I told you I got some lit up ones out there. And they are males. See? And it just it just that's gonna be my treat tonight, child. That's gonna be my treat. Yep. And if any questions of anything he says, or if it's something you it's not clear, make sure you write it down so we can maybe discuss. I'm going to watch it. But I liked it that one there that he said it doesn't matter the sin because it goes back to here. It didn't matter what David and them did. You see, they were branded for this. So the men today, they don't have this brand. They going in it following David, following who else? Jacob, Solomon. But Ahiah said, no, you can't. You can't come in that route and think because you saw them do it, you can do it. No, no, no. They came in through this. Now, who are you? You see? Now, who are you? You couldn't come through this when you looking at them trying to mimic their wrongdoing and their sin and their things that was permissive will. You trying to mimic that? I tell you what, that shows you that you work for Satan. You ain't mimicking the righteous will that comes with belief, righteous faith, and fear. You mimicking the unrighteous will and calling it righteous. So again, my last call for any questions before I tune out. Yes. Food for the spirit. Food for the spirit. So let me get that again. So in case this is the name of it, and he don't hold it. He don't have a lot long videos. It's, they good because I can feel it spiritual the fullness of what he's saying. Even though some of the words he's saying you can barely understand because it's like his English is not, but I can, Even when he started to speak in tongue, I was writing that thing down. I said, I'm gonna get him now. I'm gonna get him now. And what I was saying is, I wanted to see if I can interpret what he was saying. And when I interpret people who can't, who's not speaking holy tongue, then they're speaking fleshly out of emotion, okay, and out of flesh control, or either out of Satan. They trying to throw people off that they're speaking in tongue. And when I hear that jibber jabber, I can discern it that it's not the holy tongue. You see, it's not the holy tongue, meaning the word that's being speaking in spirit. They're not speaking that. Now it's the one that you go in the closet. I can't discern. Now the one out of the closet I can, but in the closet, no, 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 no. And I had to tell my mom and her niece that the other day, and they was like, they couldn't even believe it the way I told them. It's a difference between in the closet and out of the closet. Letting them know, no, 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 there's two difference. So I, Sister Deborah, say thank you all for tuning in, and I guess I get in here and get ready, get ready, get ready, because I might end up listening to all of his. I've done that before, wanting to you really capture something someone is saying, and then in the next video I keep in it, and then all of a sudden I start hearing. Then I stay in it to see, just saying that, they still got that hope that rests in them. But this here man, he sounded pretty good. I appreciate you too. All righty, right. So I, Sister Deborah, will say, I am out, and shalom, and praise the most high, ahaya, ahaya. Yes, shalom.